Is there a way that we can prepare for death? I mean, apart from, making a will. Going back to real basics.
Get all your
get all
good
your
lawyer's
assets in
advice.
order
Get good lawyer's advice.
Sorry, yes. Let's get out of the material world and into the sort of the more esoteric world.
Well, a lot of people don't want to make wills because they think that that's
I haven't.
hastening death. And
I haven't.
I took a while to do it. I don't think I can't think it was because I was trying to put it off. I just, I assume I'm going to live forever. There's a story from the Vedas, from the Mahabharata, where King Yudhishthira was being asked, "What is the most wonderful thing in the world?"
Mm-hmm. And the answer?
The answer was that we see everyone else around us dying. We see previous generations have died. We see our friends dying. We see our parents passing away. But we think we will live forever. Most wonderful thing. How do we get so bewildered? Somehow, because it's actually the nature of the soul to live forever, so it actually is quite natural that we do think like that.
So what stops us then from living forever? I mean, apart from
living within this particular body?
Yeah. I mean, we talked, I think, in a previous conversation about the sort of, the elements of disease and emotional trauma and things like that. But I mean, at the higher level, what's...
Well, I think that's...
At the soul level, there's no reason, is there?
Well, the soul level, yes, there is, because you're in a vehicle. If, for instance, what was the first car you ever had?
Triumph Herald.
Great. What would you be happy now if you were still driving that Triumph Herald, which is a couple of decades old?
At least.
Would you still be happy with it? Does your ambitions, your desires for activity, that changes?
Well,
so the body is there to facilitate the aspirations of the soul. That's why we get this particular body. It's actually defined by our aspirations.
It's not the other way around.
No, it's all, the soul and consciousness always comes first.
Right.
Everything is dependent on intention and desire.
Okay.
So the body that we get, we might say, my parents gave me this DNA. Yes, but why did you enter that particular womb? That particular...
Chose your parents.
Somehow or other, the circumstances match.
Yeah.
The soul takes birth. Very complicated, but
But this goes to what I was saying, I think, at the beginning about we know so little about death. There is a theory, I'm sure you've heard it, that we before we're born, we choose our parents. Which fits in entirely with what you're saying. There's no accident.
Yeah.
We choose those parents for the very
reason. We're not going down the directory. Those. They look rather nice. What address is that? What postcode? That's a reasonable postcode.
But you know what I mean.
I'll go for that one. But it's not. It's on a subtle basis, but it's not far off. It can be expressed as we choose our parents.
Well, how else can it be? I mean,
I'm making kind of a little bit of facetious fun of those who might think, well, that sounds weird.
Yeah.
But the point is, the intention is ours. Our intention.
But it goes back to creating our reality as well.
Exactly, Our intention lands us in a particular circumstance which matches that.
Yeah.
Therefore, we have chosen.
And if everything is based on intent and desire, so... The reverse is you almost reverse the process. So what was the intent and desire that created the circumstances that I came into?
To take a material body in the first place.
Or to choose if, whether that's the right word.
Well, that's the big...
To choose my life circumstances, if you like.
Well, the life circumstances are defined by kind of our aspirations and desire. But if you pull back a little bit and say, well, why would the soul want to have a material birth in the first place? Well, it does give certain opportunities. We get to interact with the material world in certain ways. But as we do it, our views and aspirations and our attitudes change. And therefore, really, and we get tired of doing it within the particular way this body allows.
Mm.
So actually death is a welcome opportunity to start afresh in a new circumstance, new opportunities, new youthful energy, and experience the world in another way. And now we can go and repeat basically the same life again and again and again if we want. But the hope is that having done it a few times, millions of times, whatever, we start to think, well, is there something else that the soul is capable? Is there a higher type of life that I should be aspiring to? Is there a higher type of physical body, perhaps? Is there a higher type of spiritual realm that I should be aspiring to? Another dimension, rather than keep incarcerating myself, putting myself back in the prison house of the material bodies. Should I not be thinking, well, since I'm spirit soul, is there another realm that would better match my spiritual nature and would not require all this change and all this death?
Well, in a sense, that's logical, isn't it? Because I mean, if we come to the Earth plane, let's call it that, right, which has a certain vibration, we need to be in harmony with that vibration to live on the planet, don't we?
Yeah.
So presumably there are.
Or isn't it because we are in harmony with it? That's why we come here.
Yeah, it may be. That's right. The converse is also true, but that might imply then that there are other worlds, if you like. And they don't have to be other planets. They could be any form of world. It could be a sort of floating mass in the middle of somewhere. I don't know. Where the vibrational match is such to allow whoever those beings are to have that experience.
And that's exactly what the Vedic
of a spiritual.
The Vedic
nature,
picture of reality is exactly that.
Okay.
Don't get hung up with thinking life on Earth is the only way it is.
Yeah.
It's just one of trillions upon trillions of different opportunities, different vibrational levels, some higher, some lower, that the soul can explore. And death actually allows us to transcend, transmigrate between all the different ones according to how we develop our energy.
Yeah.
If in this life we develop our energy and heighten it a little bit, we may well move to a situation that we will move to a situation that suits that. If in this life we kind of indulge our energy and kind of it drops, well, who knows what sort of form of dung beetle or whatever. There's various forms of existence even within this planet, never mind other planets, that will suit a lower form of energy.
Yeah.
But it will always be our choice. It'll always be the match to where we want our energy or where we're allowing our energy to go.